Thomas Berryman TV, MC Wicks. You are now rocking with the greatest. Worldwide, universal, we kick games, drop gems. Knowledge expand the brain. We don't speak no lie, this all factual. Travel through sound waves, international. My aura is shining, but that's natural. From the cosmos, supernatural, extraterrestrial with the ill flow. Too high, too elevated. Art and culture is beautiful, we gon' celebrate it. Documented this history in the making. Connecting with the rest of the planet through conversation. Building from the ground up, this the foundation. Through the power of thought manifestation. Gift the gab, champion rap, greatness. Timeless like hieroglyphs. Who would've ever pictured this? Blow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got a very, very special guest today. The living legend, Cold 187, Big Hutch. You'd know him from Above the Law. He's a pioneer, the founder of G-Funk, living legend again. Please welcome Cold 187.
Thanks for having me, boss. What's good with you, T? What's the
Man,
word?
man, I just been listening to the Above the Law albums and also the newest one that's coming out in November.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
hmm
Pomona Love is yeah, definitely my jam at the moment. That album's just on repeat.
Thank you, man.
I
Yeah, it's a
wanna
long-awaited album. It's a part of the legacy records that we have. All the records that my last recordings that I done with KMG, him, DJ Chaos, and Cocaine. That's our last recordings together. So it's like a gem. It's a few records. Like we done like 20 records that we had in the archive. So I'm busting them down in like two different series of records. Like one record is Pomona Love, and the next record is like our documentary, and a bunch of it left, in an anthology, which is called Forever. So it's called Above the Law Forever. So this is like the precursor to all of that, and then we having a big year next year because we relaunching Westworld Records, and then we have our film company now, Musatv. So we produce our own stuff now. Well, we've always produced our own stuff. Now we're just producing. Now I'm just behind the film part of it now, doing the films. So I got a television show coming out, The Black Godfather, which is coming to Tubi in February, and then we go and start doing production on the Forever documentary. So yeah. So
yeah.
it's a big year. It's a big year coming for us, and we're thinking about doing a book, but we don't know if we're gonna do the book before it or after the documentary. So but it's great to put music out again. With the whole thing I had. A lot of legal stuff I had to go through for some years, getting all the stuff. All of the previous recordings with different, because different companies and stuff like that. So finally we got the legal stuff hammered out, and then we're able to put out the last recordings. So yeah.
I'm so glad you're able to get a
And
hold of
shout out to
that.
Mob G, assisting me on this first record on Pomona Love. Mob G, assisting me on that, but forever it'll be on Westworld, and through Musatv Films, King Lion Films. But yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I love that. I've watched a couple of the first three episodes of The Black Godfather as well.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
it comes to Tubi, it's the Chronicles, so it's a little longer,
Yep.
but it's more. The cool thing I did with the Black Godfather, I wanted to make them shorts, like Chronicles. So they're like each episode is like 10 to 15 minutes, so you can kind of binge watch your whole season. It'll be 7 episodes that'll come to Tubi, but you've already seen like three of them already, but they're chronicalized, so the episodes will break. I kind of break them down, like a chronicle, like a gangster chronicle, you could say, like basically like, it's like my thoughts in my head about each episode. So it's kind of like a cool little concept that I have producing it, you
I
know.
love it. 'Cause you're one of the greatest producers of all time as well, so it's incredible
Oh,
to see
well, I'll
you
take it, man.
doing this
I'll
as
take
well.
it. Yeah, I'll take it. Coming from a family that's a musical family, so I'm glad I'm able to be labeled as that because I feel my father was a great writer and a composer, and my uncle was incredible, and writer, composer, and an artist. So I'm proud of that, and then to have a legacy in hip hop as well, man. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah, just for people who don't know, your father was Willie Hutch, a
Yeah.
legend in the music industry.
Mhm.
And
But my uncle's Willie Hutch. My father's Richard Hutch is producer and writer, so it's
yeah,
kind of one and the same. I was raised by both of them, though. Yeah,
yeah,
basically, in the
yeah.
music game. So yeah. But
And
people don't know. But thank you for letting people know.
thanks, man. Um,
Yeah.
yes, you got an incredible story, and I wanted to ask, how did Above the Law very first start? The very, because I know you're the founding
Yeah.
member as well.
Yeah, we started, me and DJ Chaos started a group in high school. Me, him, and another one of our high school partners was in a group called Wizards of Rock. Um, and that was the first group that we started, and we were like juniors in high school, um, sophomores and juniors in high school. Then as we grew a little older, we graduated and we started hustling in the streets a little bit together and everything. And then that kind of fell apart, and we just kind of started hustling. And KMG was another one of our childhood friends, so as we used to all hustle together too. So me, him, and DJ Chaos end up putting the music back into the play, and me being a person that was kind of a music, that already was caught up in the music from the legacy of my family, kind of was easy for me. So we just put it all back together, and then we started taking it real serious because we didn't want to hustle in the streets no more, you know. So we kind of took maybe about we took probably about 2 years and just really, really like hammered out some real songs. And finally, we got into another one of our childhood friends that was really close with Easy E, which he ended up getting to take the lay law. Well, Gomac was Gomac's brother, and we all used to hang out together when we were in high school, and they ended up taking one of our demos and giving them the lay law, and lay law was good friends with Easy E at the time, and they were building Ruthless Records, and they shot him the demo, which was the Living Like Hustlers demo, and which had about 6 or 7 songs on it already done already. And they loved it at the time. They was on Straight Outta Compton tour, and after they broke the tour, they signed us. Rest is history, basically, man. You know, and I think we came up from the hustle. I was a young kid that knew music and was from a musical family, but we kind of like bonded that those last 4 years that we were together in the streets. You know, before we recorded Living Like when before we um, actually got signed, it was a real crucial time in our lives. And that's why I tell people all the time. I said, sometimes you don't know where life gonna take you, man. He can take you to a dark place to the light. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what happened to us. We ended up taking what we were doing, hustling on the streets, the ideals we had, me, KMG, and DJ Chaos, and then we incorporated Go Back into the group, and we just talked about our lives basically on records. And Easy loved it. So because he had to be the final say, but it was him, Dre, and Laylaw who actually put us into the fold.
Yeah. What an incredible story too. That's an
Mhm.
amazing journey. I'm glad that you were able to put that together as well. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You never know. We could be dead or in jail,
Yeah.
doing life, or you wouldn't be getting this great music that everyone's got and that considers it being great. So
Yeah.
yeah, rest in peace, KMG, rest in peace, Laylaw and Easy E. You know what I mean? Shout out to Dr. Dre. You
Yeah.
know, so yeah, because without those people, without people like that, you don't get what you have. You know what I mean? Everybody's a part of the story. I don't like to leave anybody out. Big shout to Cocaine as well. You know what I mean? Like shout out to DJ Chaos, Gomac, AKE. All the cats that have a part of us coming to the fold.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
yeah,
love that. And I love Cocaine as well. He's an incredible human being. I
yeah,
love
yeah,
talking to
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And when
yeah.
you
That's
two
my
are
baby
together, it's very
cousin.
special. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. hmm We have a good time with this, man.
Yeah.
It's a blessing.
Definitely. What's been I want to ask your favorite your moment, I guess your highlight, your happiest moment
Mhm.
in this music journey?
I mean, you know, I mean, it's a lot of highlights. I mean, for me, probably would be having I mean, the total opportunity to, you know, do something legitimate, you know, one. And I mean, I think a major highlight is, you know, my first tour I went on an international levels with NWA, you know. So learning from them, you know, how to really make it make sense at a very, very young stage in my career. I think that's more memorable to me because it pays dividends now, you know. And then being able to be mentored by Eazy-E, you know, was, I mean, it's incredible. I mean, that's why I move how I move right now. So yeah, just having to be able to be just to shadow him, you know, learning from Dr. Dre, learning from Lay Law, you know what I mean? Just learning from the greats, man, that people consider being great. I studied under them, you know, and I was serious when I walked through the doors, you know. So so for me, I'm so blessed. So it's a lot of highlights, brother. You
Yeah,
know,
definitely. Uh,
you know.
what advice would you give to someone who's just starting out, whether it be music or movies, that they just want to start out?
Well, the most I think the most advice it's kind of like cliche. I would say do what you feel, you know, first, and then I would say know the business of show. You know what I mean? Because without that, you don't have a hook, basically. You know, a lot of people can know the music business, a lot of people, but you got to know the business of show. Like whatever you're doing with your brand, your product, it has to be able to resonate through what you truly feel in your heart from your art perspective. You know, and that's saying like if you want to talk about the streets, make sure how you doing it, you can showcase it in a way that makes people gravitate to it. Don't be so caught up on the art part as much as the show part. They have to be balanced. So it's let's create balance between show and art, you know, and just do it the way you want to do it. Don't That's why people get caught up in the trends and jump on certain things and they become followers and not leaders. An artist is always a follower, but at the same time they lead in because you follow because you as things came before you. So you do follow, but you don't jump on things that aren't you. You kind of integrate the things that fit you, that's for you, but put your own twist to it. No one can reinvent the wheel. It's like I follow. I follow the people all my Motown family. I follow when I came to Ruthless, I follow that family. But I lead because when the way I was taught to do it from a person like an Eazy-E, he taught me to say, hey, when you bring me something, how do you want this to be displayed? How do you want people to look at you, basically? So those are the two elements that I always tell young artists: do what you want to do it the way you want to do it, but know the business of show. That's all, you know.
Incredible too. You're part of two of the most influential labels of all time. You're
Right.
Ruthless, Death Row,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
pioneered G-Funk. Like, the impact you've
Mm-hmm.
had on music is
Right.
incredible. I don't think people
Thank you.
fully understand how much a lot has come from you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
So,
You know, I came up. You know, I came up in a time. I came up in a time where it's funny, like we all needed each other. You know, now not so much. People act like, you know, like in the industry of what we do. What I always tried to do was I always tried to take music further than where I learned from where I found it at. You know, that was the formula of like G Funk, basically. It was to take hip hop, like where I found hip hop was okay, well, how can I take it somewhere else? You know what I mean? It really wasn't to try to be like, oh, I want to be this legendary or what. I just kind of wanted to take music. I was always taught by my father to take music further than where you found it, you know. So I just that's how that kind of evolved and it turns into that. And then I influenced people like Warren and Snoops and influenced the Chronic and influenced all these different things, you know, and that whole era, you know. And I never, you know, I never asked for a lot of. credit from anything because I truly believed in the art part of it. You know what I mean? I just thought that, when I was doing it, I was doing something for a greater good of whatever was to come, that's all. So for me, when I get these accolades from people, I'm like, okay, well, that's great. I did something with music, like my father and my uncle done. So I feel great about being able to do that for hip hop. So
Definitely. Was there a point where you knew you were onto something, like you knew you were great? Was there a moment where you went, yeah, this is me, this is what I'm gonna do?
yeah, because I worked so I worked so much and I studied so much. Once I started getting into the rhythm of actually making records, I kind of started knowing when I was able to mold. Probably when I did Black Mafia Life, I kind of knew I was in a rhythm. you know. Um, from there, I started, you know, working heavy with Easy a lot, real heavy, and ghosting a few joints, around the camp and everything. And then I helped. Then I was redeveloping cocaine. I think that was when I really found the rhythm when we did Funk Up on a Rhyme, and then we ended up doing Uncle Sam's Curse. That was my real rhythm right there, where I knew I had that identity. I think when I was working on Black Mafia Life, it was more of organic and me just actually, being the mad scientist
Yeah.
and developing. And I think at that point, when I got the Funk Up on a Rhyme, I kind of knew what that formula was going to form into. And then the Chronic had hit and all these other different things that hit. Black Mafia had hit. Then I went in and done that. So that's when I could really say, like, I knew I had that it thing. Something that's like, okay, now everybody is really vibing what I developed, basically. And back then, music was heavy influence. Now, like I said, now it's more like, the computer program. Back then it was like, okay, they doing this. Oh, I'm gonna integrate this. Okay, I'm around this camp. I heard this. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it was more like hands on where you were influenced being in the community of the guys doing music. So and like I said, I think that from me wanting to be different than like an NWA, I kind of caught a rhythm from just having that mentality, and it just kind of snowballed after Black Mafia Life. It just kind of snowballed because Living Like Hustlers was a really funky record, too. So, but it had like the late coming out of the '80s into the '90s. It dropped in '90. And you look at we done Black Mafia Life at the same time. They done Niggas for Life, and then the Chronic drops, the G Funk era, all these records started dropping that had the Black Mafia Life influences on it. So I knew I had something then. I just didn't know the level that would grow to once it started influencing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Black Mafia Life's one of my favorite as well. I love that you mentioned
Spooky record.
cocaine's. Yeah, Funk Upon a Rhyme as well. Yeah,
Yeah. Black Mafia Life is a spooky record, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
I was really dark. I was really dark making that album, but
Wow.
I really had a really good time because I kind of freeformed that album. I really didn't have a rule in with that album, and usually I don't really, to be honest with you, brother. I just kind of what I feel I do,
Yep.
you know. But I really love that record, man. That record was a fun record, and it was dark, but it was fun, you
Yeah.
know.
I love the song you did uh the chill too on from Pomona Love. I just wanted to mention that as well because I'm a big
Oh
fan of
yeah,
the chill.
oh yeah, oh yeah. That record is. I mean, the cool thing about the Pomona Love record, those records that we cut for Pomona Love, it's like a lot of those records were just cut. You know what I mean? Those are just a straight vibe. A lot of those last recordings are just a vibe. You know, um, yeah. And me, like I said, I'm a producer that I was taught at a young age to do what you feel. I've never been a person that when I produce, like, okay, I'm I'm a overanalyze music. I was also taught this that music isn't analytical, it's free forming. So don't never get to analyzing, and when you creating it, it's not an analytical thing. It's basically something that you doing that how you feel and how you move is what you should lay down. You know what I mean? The moment, what you guys are experiencing is a moment of our art. You know what I mean? So when you hearing what I'm doing, I've just always stuck to the formula. I, I hit a wall one time before I was breaking ground on doing Black Mafia Life, and it's funny how because Living Like Hustles had two number ones. It did really good. It was an incredible album. We did really really great, and so we were coming off of that. It was like, man, what to do? This that this. So my engineer Donovan Smith at the time came in and he said, "What's up? You kind of stagnant on what you're doing or whatever. You're not you showing up to the studio, but you're not really cooking." I was like, I'm kind of feeling like, I'm either letting success from Living Like Hustlers get to me, or I ain't got it. And he was like, well, when you wrote Living Like Hustlers, when you put Living Like Hustlers together, did you have any fans? So what was you doing music for? I was like, shit, just I was doing it because it made me feel good. He said, well, then do that. And then that's when I went in and started laying down the G Funk shit. You know what I mean? And I just kept on doing it like that all the way up to what you hearing. You know what I mean? It's just I just have always stuck to that formula. If I don't feel it, I'm not doing it. And I based it on that. I based it on like having no fans and how I feel. You
Yeah.
know, that's why usually you're gonna get me on the record. You're not gonna get, oh well, I'm doing it like this because of this, or I'm doing it because of them over there. You're gonna get that authentic thing because that's where I know to have a career, to do it that way.
Man, I love the song "Ballin'" on that album too.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my
Hmm.
favorites. Um,
Yeah, we're
I,
flipping on that album.
yeah. Another song I really love of yours. I think you released it maybe a couple of years ago. Even the film
Mhm.
clip I love too is Gangster.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite songs of yours.
This is cool, man.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, I have a lot. It's records I've forgotten, but
Yep.
I have a lot of records, man. Like, and now, like, I think I'm back in that flow of, how I guess they say, everything's full circle.
Yep.
I guess I'm back at that point to where I'm just excited about doing music like I used to do music all the time, and
Yep.
giving everybody something that feel good, from me, and how I feel, you know. So yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, Gangsta's a cool record.
Yeah,
You
as it
know.
goes hard. I always got
Mhm.
that bumping in the car, and another one I
Yeah.
got on repeat is "Straight Outta Pomona." That's
Oh yeah.
Man, that is
Now
one of
that's a
your
dark
best.
record. Yeah, that's a dark record.
It goes hard. I
Yeah,
love
that
it.
go hard. Yeah, that's a dark one. Yeah, that go hard. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
can't
like,
stop listening.
I like that. Yeah, yeah. I like to, like I said, I like to kind of like, I still kind of like to shake shit up, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, I think that's our signature as what we always done as Above the Law, and me as a producer. I like to kind of sonically shake shit up,
Yep.
make it dark, a little off, a little on, fun, kind of comical a little bit,
Yeah.
kind of messing, kind of annoying, but still cool and fly. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
I was glad to do, because I wasn't gonna like overkill with Pomona Love, like just but I just, when I went back to a lot of the records, I just started saying like these records will work for this phase,
Yep.
and I'm happy that people are excited about it, because I didn't honestly, I didn't never think this record would come out. None of these records, I didn't think they would ever come out. Let's the legal part of it. So
I'm glad it did. And like you said,
yeah.
you do different music. I love how you
Mhm.
do different stuff. Like even the song "May the Force Be with You." Like that was,
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that
That
was
was
cool.
fun. That
That
was
was
fun,
awesome.
man. Yeah, you better have fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, you know how, like, I'll look up, say I look up to you, people like
Hmm.
you, Cocaine,
Yeah.
Dre. Is there
Hmm.
any people that you see coming up in the industry that you're looking at as, yeah, they got it, or someone who you're really enjoying at the moment? That's
I
yeah,
mean, I'm really loving Kendrick Lamar. I mean, not to say like, I mean, everybody is, but I think that the integrity, I think his creative integrity is off the charts. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like he's one that I can say like I really, really got a lot of respect for. Um, Probably there's a handful of other guys. I mean, I have been working on so much music right now. I don't really even get into that, but he's kind of the one that kind of like sparks my interest like a lot, like creatively. Kendrick is probably the one that sparks my creatively, not because of the beef with Drake or the popularity, just because when I'm listening what he's doing, I can see he's doing him because he's so left in what the other guys are doing,
yeah,
in the industry, the other young guys are doing. He's so left that it's right on point. So I mean, for that's really all I can say. Really, a lot of the stuff nowadays is more like programmed. I
yeah,
would say, to whatever like what's popular. Basically, that doesn't make it bad. It just makes it be programmed. Like everybody's following the same route to do things. I think he's the only one that kind of gives me that to where I be like, okay, yeah, I can see that he's doing him. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely. I seen I loved the song that you did, Call It What You Want with Money B and Tupac. I seen
Tupac.
Money B's on Black Godfather as well.
Yeah. Oh
That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
How,
man.
how did that song
Shout
come
out to
about?
them. Yeah. Call
So,
It What You Want was a record that we want. We were at the time. Our road manager was their manager, Adrian Gregory, and we the song was really supposed to be me, Shock G, KMG, and Money B. Well, Shock G had to mix a record or something. He got called New York or something of that nature. And Pac just actually came to the studio with Mun. Now at the time, Pac didn't even have a record out yet. He only had that verse and same song. And Shock called and said, "Man, I'm not gonna be able to make the session." So we were like, "Man, shit, record is ready to go." I had the beat down. We was ready to go. We was waiting for to see who was gonna take off first. So Mom was like, "Man, let Younger get a shot," which was Pac. Pac penned what he penned. We say, "Man, go swing at it in the booth." We left it on tape and kept going. You know, that's how it basically happened. You know, wasn't even on purpose because he wasn't an artist yet. He hadn't even established himself as an artist at that time. He had that one record with them, and he wasn't even finished with. This is before Brenda had a baby. This is before all of that. He didn't have anything before the whole trap album and all that. You know, and shit was fire, man. And so we kept it
Yeah,
and kept rolling. Yeah. And he the first person who coined G Funk on a record. You know, he's the first person that said it on a record. I'm pumping G Funk. You can call it what you want. Yeah. Because he
man.
asked us in his verse, he asked us like, what was our sound? And KMG, and I guess KMG or Laylaw told him was like, yeah, we call it G Funk. It's just gangster funk. He's like, okay, I'm gonna write that in the rhyme, and he wrote it in the rhyme. And yeah.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. History is something, ain't
Yeah,
it?
damn, what a history
When you talk
class
to
this
it,
is.
history is something when you talk to it, ain't it?
Yeah,
So
man. And yeah, shout out to Money B. He's one of my
yeah,
favorites
yeah.
too.
Rest in peace, Tupac, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely love Money B. And
Rest in peace, KMG. Yeah, we did. We had a good time on that record, and the record was meant to be no hook. It was a cipher record, so that's how we was gonna keep it.
yeah,
Yeah.
damn. What's been
I had that beat forever too. I had that beat for a long time. I had cooked that beat for a long time. I was like, yeah, but it was specially made for us.
yeah,
Digital Underground. It's supposed to be Digital Underground and Above the Law. You know,
That's a good combination right there.
That would have been hot, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. All
I'd
we
love
needed
to
was
see you
shock at the
making
end.
beats. Yeah.
Yeah, we just need the shock at the end. You know. That's
Yeah. Rest in peace, Shock G. He was
right,
incredible.
man. Yeah, he's incredible. He was an incredible producer, musician, all of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What do you have any more upcoming projects with cocaine in the near future?
Well, we just dropped Stein record right now. I'm pretty sure we're gonna go in and do a part two on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
got that as well.
yeah, yeah. Once he, 'cause I think he has a blues record coming, and
Yeah.
then after that, and then I got my mixtapes coming out in January.
Yeah.
The Mic Checker, Co-187, the Mic Checker. That's crazy. Because that's just a lyrical mixtape. It's not in. It's just me and lyrics. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
loops and lyrics.
Yeah.
So it's like a throwback record, that I did, like a throwback. It's new. I just recorded it. But it's like the concept of a throwback record, just loops. I'm just rapping the loops, just going crazy, you know.
Yeah. I'd actually love to see you one day just making beats. You're some of the best I've heard ever. You've
Oh
got,
yeah, I'm about to get back at it too. Like I'm about to go in and work on Evolution of a Gangster in February after I finish the first season of The Black Godfather. Well, that's a live album that I'm doing.
yeah.
So yeah, that's gonna be crazy. Yeah. And all of like a lot of stuff I do is live though, but like this is a real live album that I'm doing like totally. So
Yep. I reckon, yeah, live's incredible. It's a huge difference.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but I'm a musician, so that's my lineage. So
Yeah.
it, it's it's my wheelhouse. I'm probably more versed in that by nature than programming, because programming for me, that's why I program. So orchestrate, I orchestrate programming because I'm a musician and a composer first.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
What's there's not a lot of people who are extremely talented at both things. Like you can produce and rap and write.
Right.
Who were some producers that you are inspired by or look up to, I guess?
Um, that are my colleagues, or just mean in general,
In
that's
in
all the way.
general, yeah, all the way.
Writers, I mean, there's a lot of writers that I was inspired by, from shit, Lennon, McCartney, Willie Hutch, Isaac Hayes. I was mentored by Isaac Hayes. Um, so like that. In my era, it's probably would be, I mean, I understudied with Dr. Dre. I love Rick Rock, I love EA um, shit, Ant Banks is one of my favorite producers. Battle Cat is one of my colleagues. I love
Love
Quick.
Battle Cat.
You
Yeah.
I love Quick. Who else is really really heavy that I like? I really loved a lot of the Naughty by Nature production. When I was coming up in Dungeon Family, I'm a big fan of them, and Pimp C, of course. Heavy on Pimp, and just to name a few. I mean, there's a lot of guys that I really really love and respect, man. Most guys in this industry I love and respect are producers like that. You know what I mean? That are kind of in that regard. But yeah, that's just name a few. Of course, I love my man Premier. Shout out to
Yeah.
Premier, that's one of my good friends.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest too.
Yeah, man, he's awesome, ain't he?
Yeah. Yep. I love him.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah. But I mean, they're my colleagues. So like I said, when I go back to different people as writers or people that, taught me a lot of stuff, the older guys that taught me that I studied or that have laced me up through my path, a lot of those guys, so I admire their work and the things that they've done and how they broke ground and everything and created a really great sound. DJ Tune, with the trap stuff. You know what I mean? I had to give it up to, people like that, man, who just really, they innovated. Shock G, those guys innovated things. Those guys innovated like myself. So, I have to give it up to them because it came from a time where all we had was what we were believing in this hip hop, you know. Rick Rubin with all the run stuff, Larry Smith, you know, the Houdini stuff, you know, like it's a lot of guys, you know, Herbie, you know what I mean, Herbie Love Bug, you know, oh yeah, man, Marley Marl, you know, I could go on and on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
A
man.
lot of guys, I love the Bomb Squad. You know, I love Chuck and them production, Chuck D's production, all that, and all that was amazing, man. You know who I sat in the studio with one time. You know, rest in peace, Professor X, X Clan. Like, yeah, I was in a couple of their sessions when I was in New York,
Yeah.
and in the early days, and I was like, yeah, I was really blown away. You know, Eric Sermon, you know, so I can, you know, I can keep going, brother.
Yeah,
A
man. Wow. Yeah, it's
lot of my guys, you know, said Tim, Timberland, yeah, Jermaine Dupri, yeah,
yeah. Oh man, Jermaine
yeah,
Dupri.
hmm
Man,
yeah, hmm
I really love
yeah.
Battle Cat too. I'm glad you mentioned
Oh yeah,
Battle Cat.
that's my boy. Yeah, me and him, we had a lot of nights studying. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Me and him, we study a
yeah.
lot together. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
hmm
he goes live every now and then, just him making music, and I'll just watch
yeah.
it for like an hour, and I'm like,
Mhm.
fuck, I got to get back to work, but it's like I could just sit there and watch him make music for ages.
Yeah, yeah.
He's just so cool with it as well.
hmm Yeah, it's
What?
in his nature. Cats in his nature.
Yeah, yeah. I love
But shout out
Quick.
to Rhythm D too. Shout out to Rhythm D, man. You know what I mean? Rhythm D. You know, we all came up together, man. Rhythm D, man. Rhythm D is a part of that whole core of, you know, we first was birthed in G Funk. He's a part of that core as well. You know. So yeah.
Definitely. Well, we're talking about your series is coming out for Tubi. What
hmm
going off series or movies? What who inspires you to make movies? Like what movies have had an impact on you?
Um, in classic movies, I mean, you know, you know, I don't want to sound cliche, but you know, The Godfather, um, Scarface, you know, but you know, I like a lot of the Tarantino stuff, you know, a lot of stuff that F. Gary Gray does, you know what I mean? So as a film, you know, like as a filmmaker, I kind of, you know, have that imagination as a director. So I watch a lot of stuff. Movie cats I don't even really know a lot, you know, but those are to name a few, you know. Um yeah, I mean, I don't have any like so-called type of film, I would say, you know, that I like because I watch everything from gangster, horror to sci-fi to, you know, everything. I watch everything. You know, I'm probably more big on like drama than anything, you know, more into that drama action. So anybody who's making things like that, but those are, like I said, to name a few, Tarantino, F. Gary Gray, um, man, let me see who else is really, really dope. I like. Um, you know, I just named. I mean, you know, like I like the if my favorite movie is The Godfather, you know, because it's a thinking movie, but it's gangster. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So that's why I love it so much. And like the concept with the Black Godfather is a thinking thing too. It's like you've seen it, like it's you have
yeah,
to think about what's going on because it's more of a problem solving type of thing. So I wanted to make it the premise of where it makes you think, you know. So I like I said, I like drama and action. So I like things that are
yeah.
gonna make you think. You know, most movies that I like highly like are movies like that. You know.
Godfather, that's probably the best one of the best films of all time. Like, it's so
Right.
iconic.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really great. What about like
Mhm.
TV series? I just asked because I know you're making yours as a series.
You know what I was big on? I was big on Snowfall, and I was big on I was big on Power until I couldn't really follow it no more. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It just was all
yeah,
over the place, and I got busy,
yeah,
so I couldn't really follow it. But I'd say Power, and you know what I really, really like? I like the Wu-Tang
yeah,
series.
yeah.
That was really amazing to me, like how that was together. I really liked, the way Jizza put that together,
Yeah.
you know. So
Yeah, he's a
yeah.
genius.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, Jizza too, man. I love
Yeah.
Jizza stuff too, man. Yeah. It's funny, when you come before things come and they become great, you're like, oh, yo, like that's amazing to see that come from, before, pre Wu Tang to after Wu, like the industry before Wu Tang and then after Wu Tang.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, that's amazing to see that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? To just see all them guys come up like that, and then just to put that together like in his whole brainchild. I know what that's like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Being the brainchild of something like that. I thought that was amazing. Then to see the series, I was even more blown away.
Yeah.
So
Need the
yeah.
cold 187 series one day.
Well,
Above
there
the
you go.
law.
Yeah,
That'd
yeah,
be
yeah. We'll do it. We'll
that'd
do
be
it.
epic.
Because
That'd
you
be
said it. We'll
incredible.
do
Yo.
it.
The G
Because it's a
Funk.
real story. Because it's a real story. You
Yo.
know,
Yeah.
it's a real story about real friends, about real brotherhood, about real, it's that kind of story.
Yeah, to me,
About a
that'd
real
be a
grind, real
perfect.
struggle. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do the
No, I
soundtrack,
think so.
everything.
I think so.
No. Yes, I'd love that, man.
Mhm.
And you've also, you've worked at Ruthless to Death Row. Um,
Mhm.
what what was did you already have an idea of, I guess the business side of things, or were you learning as you went? And how did it come about you going from Ruthless to Death Row in that position?
Well, I did. Because I learned under Easy E, so I always had that in order. I think the biggest hurdle going to Death Row is that it was after it had basically fell apart, you know, and I was rebuilding the label. I already knew how to possibly run a label learning up under Easy E. So that wasn't the learning curve. I think it was more so when I got there, it was like I had Crooked Eye at the time. Shout out to Crooked Eye, incredible artist. Um, and a few more. I had SKG. Shout out to SKG when she was a young pup coming up. And I had a lot of the catalog that was there. Like I had a Snoop catalog, had a Dog Pound catalog, I had Tupac music, I had all those different things that I had to put, into the play. Um, Not knowing how overwhelming it would be, just to like continue the relationships with the media and the radio and all of that. Those were the hurdles. It wasn't really the business part that was the hurdle. It was more just like mending those relationships, because I kept good relationships with all those people. So, and then I still had good relationships with Snoop and Dre as well. So it was kind of like, tooth and nail. And at the time, and, you know, it itching along, once we start rounding everything up, it's kind of started smoothing out. We were able to put out a few records, put a record out on the Dog Pound, put a record out on Snoop, started developing all those other artists and everything. And then at that point, you know what happened, just the whole legal demise of the label.
Yeah.
So I didn't have anything to do with that.
Yeah.
So I just did my part when I was there to try to revamp the label. And I thought we were getting it back on track until all those things happened. Then
Yeah.
I ended up getting indicted and going away. So
Yeah.
that ended my run there.
Yeah.
you know. So yeah.
Yeah, it's another part of history. It's like, yeah, this
Yeah.
is the history lesson
Yeah.
for people. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So you're prepared as you are because the people that I came up under prepared me,
Yeah.
to run a label. So I didn't have a problem with being a VP there. It just was more so like all those other issues, to smooth out.
Yeah.
But that's business, That's
Definitely. Another classic too, Murder Rap. That was
oh yeah, oh
insane.
yeah,
You're just full of that.
oh
That's one of my
yeah.
favorites.
Yeah, them days was heavy, man. The early
Yeah.
days, when
Yeah.
the beginning, you know. Yeah. You
That's
know, when DLC, you know, the early Ruthless days, you know, JJ Fad, DLC, Michelle A, Above the Law. That was the early NWA, Eazy-E, those early days, man. You know, we'll never see him again, and I'm blessed to even be a part of it. You know,
yeah.
so yeah, yeah. Murder Rap was a great record. You know, I done Murder Rap probably we done Murder Rap like 3 years before we came to Ruthless, and it was done when I came to Ruthless. It's one of the songs that was already on the demo. You know, because we on Living Like Hustlers, you know, we only did the last song, Freedom of Speech, and I want to say one more record. It's like three records. I think Kicking Lyrics. I had the lyrics to Kicking Lyrics, but I didn't have the music. So me and Dre went and did the music. But everything else I had on the demo, me and Dre just bumped it up to 24 because I was doing everything at a 8 and a 16 track, and Easy was like it needed to be bumped up. So I came in with all my crates and all my programs, and we just recut it on tape. We just recut it back down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's like you
yeah,
and Dre
and
both in there
bumped
just
up.
bang.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was a crazy time.
Yeah, man. I love that you
Yeah,
mentioned
and I was at
DOC.
the front. I was at the front, and he was like, "You do what you do."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We went to
Man.
work. You know, we went to cutting it up. You know, yeah, yeah. But yeah, that was a crazy moment. You
Yeah.
know,
That's
yeah. But I
that's
appreciate that, man. Thank you, man. I'm glad you enjoyed that ride.
definitely. It's like it's been a like I've sort of had like a bucket list of people I
Well,
want to talk to, and
there you
as
go.
you were on there at DOC, I talked to DOC,
Yeah.
and Focus.
Oh yeah.
Some of the greats
Hmm.
I've had a chance to talk to, and so like my mind's just
Yeah.
blown.
Yeah. That's right. You good?
Yeah, man. I love the Takeover song from this year as well.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
And I gotta
yeah.
ask,
Take over.
Chevy music, Lil Hutch, is that
Oh yeah.
yeah, is that
Thank
your
you,
son?
man. Yeah. That's right. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, man.
How cool is that? That
He's
must have been a
coming.
good
He's
moment.
coming. He's an aspiring producer and rapper. You know, so he's coming. He's coming too. So yeah, it's a new. You know, we're trying to do a new legacy. You know, Jay. You know, on one of the records is Lil Chaos, which is Jay. Young Jay is on there too. That's Lil Chaos. So yeah, we got a little legacy. The legacy's running around here. So
Very
yeah.
cool. Like
Yeah, but
that.
thank you, man. Yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
loving the
I'll let him know
takeover.
you liked
Yeah,
it.
let him know, man. I'll have to interview
I'll
him
let
one
him
day.
know.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure. He'll love that. Yeah.
Definitely takeover too. And yeah,
Uh-huh.
I love everything that you do, man.
Well, thank you, man. We got, like I said, we got more coming, man. So enjoy that for right now. But we got more coming, brother.
Yeah,
You know, that won't stop. You know,
definitely.
I wear many hats, but that's the music will never stop. That's in me. That's it's not on me, it's in me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, one of the greatest producers of all time, like easily. That's,
Thank you, man. Thank you. I take it.
and
You
I
know.
know you're busy, I won't keep you, but can I finish off with two
Yeah, go ahead.
questions?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
What
Mm.
uh top books or authors or writers that have inspired you?
Um, I would say Covey, um, and I like Grissom because I like his move because I like it makes me feel like a movie when I'm reading his um um books. Of course I read all of Donald Goins. Um, I read 48 Laws of Power. Um, and I would say probably Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Richer. I like that book. So yeah, I mean, most books that I'm gonna read, um, they're gonna always be something that I can be inspired by. So, but those are a few. You know, I don't read. I read fiction stuff. You know, I read some fiction stuff because it helps me write. You know, but those are a few. You know.
It's funny. It's also you said like Donald Goines because someone put me onto him as well,
Yeah.
and someone
Hmm.
else said you'll find that a lot of the like real successful guys like 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, yourself. He
Yeah,
said, I can guarantee you nearly they've all read Donald Goines.
absolutely.
Yeah, and I was just like, wow. So
Yeah.
so cool you said that.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I guess I'll finish off. What's your message to the world?
My message to the world is always stay true to you and never do something that you can't live with. You know, yes, never do something that you can't live with. You know, in other words, have no regrets for whatever you have to do. So, yeah.
Well, thank you, bro. It's been awesome talking with you. And yeah,
You
it's
too, my friend.
been amazing. Is
Yeah,
there anything that I
anytime,
haven't
man.
covered?
No, you covered everything. I mean, like I said, follow. You can tell them where to follow me. Um, you basically covered everything that we got coming in the next, you know, 25 years.
Yeah.
He's tipping it off, but yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's pretty much it until I come back and
Yeah.
and the Forever's out and
Yeah.
the new season of the show is out because I will be back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we'll catch up
I wanna
then.
interview you again, man. This has been one of my
Yeah.
favorite chats ever. So
So we'll catch up. We'll catch up when a new project comes.
thanks,
You
bro.
know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You made my day.
Oh yeah. Also, follow us. All our merchandise at OG Fashion, OGFashionStore.com too. Yeah, you can get everything there. You
Yeah.
know. So
I'll put the
it's all
links
good,
up
my
and
friend.
everything too.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Go follow Cole
All right.
187. He's a living legend. Support
Thank you, my friend.
and tune
Thank you,
in.
my friend. I appreciate you humbly, man. God bless you, man. You know.
Likewise, man. It's been an honor. Thank you, bro. All right.
Well,